So it's the beginning of another day, another section, and this we're starting at Hot Springs. Hot Springs itself is right near a big national park, and there's a whole lot thing of like has natural hot springs. So they had a lot of bathing here through the mid to late 1800s and a resurgence in the 1900s. I mean, as for a national park, it's not very scenic, but they got a whole kind of like a luxury community kind of like hanging around this place. But pushing on, it's kind of a unique day because pushing through Arkansas and then going into Mississippi. And Mississippi is a unique state, so yeah, I'll explain more about Mississippi when I get there. So taking off from Hot Springs, Arkansas, after I figured out that the camera was fogging up, you know, it's this is the deep south, and basically, you know, you walk into the air conditioning, you walk out, everything fogs right back up. So, you know, one of those things you have to deal with, man, heat and humidity. But kind of going through with it, most of you would probably know that Middle Arkansas is known for almost nothing, and there's a pretty good reason for this. But basically, the only thing that's in Middle Arkansas, as you can kind of see, is Little Rock, Arkansas. And Little Rock, Arkansas is kind of a unique city in its own right. The capital of Arkansas, and it is quite a sight. I didn't take any film really of Arkansas. I don't really have any film of going through Arkansas because I made sure to go there because Hot Springs is only about an hour away, and I go through these cities normally in the morning because I don't really know the cities. And since I don't know the cities, I don't know if I'm accidentally going to go through a shady area of it. So you're fine going through a city as long as it's early in the morning. So 8 a.m., there are no problems. So I pulled over here just to kind of get some bearing of the land, and as you can see, I'm in farmland, Arkansas. I have no idea what those plants are. No idea, whatever they're growing. And I just got through Little Rock, and man, that city smells. Having a little trouble finding like the off-the-highway routes because everything seems to be like, this is not a dedicated interstate or highway, but it seems like a back road on Google Maps. I'm not really sure exactly how this works, but keep plugging along. Hopefully we can get off, and sooner or later I'm going to hit the Mississippi, and I'll be in Mississippi. Traffic's not that bad, but man, Little Rock. Ugh. But maybe it's just the area I went through. Well, actually, I did have some like interesting adventures in Little Rock. I wasn't there too long, but I did go through some of the more colorful neighborhoods. I think probably the south kind of smelled similar to like a rendering plant or something like that. It was just not a very pleasant smell in Little Rock. And what, you know, it is what it is. But kind of moving through the rest of it, Middle Arkansas, if you don't know, is pretty much just open to, oh geez, how to explain it, farmland. It's just open farmland. There's not really a whole lot of anything else there. It's just farmland, farmland, farmland. I mean, it's a little different. Every place is just a little different from the place before, but Arkansas, like right through middle of Arkansas, it is just farmland, 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 and that's pretty much what I saw. So when you get into a ride that's kind of like this, where it's not as eventful, as other rides, you have to do other things to kind of like entertain yourself. So right when I hit the Mississippi, I stopped right here. Just arrived in Mississippi, and this is the welcome I get. They have a little museum from a deep from. And some of the native people and native tools. And the real cool thing that caught my attention is that guy. That's a Civil War guy. Big time historian. God, I'm blanking on the guy who did the Civil War things, but apparently he's from around here. Because I remember that series, it was really good. Single row seed cotton. All the things at the Mississippi Delta. You walk in, it says Mississippi, where America's music was born. We're talking about jazz. Wilma Thomas. Huh. You cannot touch. This is Washington County or whatnot. I don't know. Delta Blues. What's it? Yeah. That's Mississippi Delta. Okay. Interesting. Yep, so this is the Welcome Center and the museum. The bell. I think they built that. They didn't retrofit a riverboat. But you know, actually, it's a few miles in from the. It's actually a few miles in from where the river is, because there's a big floodplain right next to the river. So very few, like not every city is directly on the Mississippi. Some of them are a few miles in. Mississippi became a territory, blah, 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 became the 20th state in 1817. Huh. From the original bridge that used to go over it. Interesting. Hopefully there's some more stuff to see here, because going through Arizona was just town, farm, town, farm, town, farm, straight. Not gonna lie, not very eventful. That place was actually pretty interesting, and you know, I kind of bumped into a bunch of other places, and you know, none the worse for wear. Well, since it's been somewhat uninteresting a ride, I've been stopping. I stopped here at the Museum of the Mississippi Delta, that's in Mississippi. There's also a B.B. King museum. I also saw that. My big thing is I'm not a jazz fan, so the B.B. King thing is like, eh. This one has a lot of history. They had a battle fought here not too long ago. I forget the name of it, but they just delayed Grant's advance on Vicksburg for a while. Kind of interesting, especially how they kind of portray the Civil War, because you know which side they were on. In reality, when you're on a trip like this, you're going to have days like this where it's just not that eventful of a ride. You're not getting the twists and turns. It's not that as scenic. It's kind of open. You watch maybe a crop duster airplane here and there, but you can still amuse yourself with just kind of local history. And I think a lot of people lose local history because it can be really kind of interesting, like learning about a small town that was wiped out like 2 or 3 times in its history. But this is what this trip was. Not the most eventful one, not the most spectacular, but still, it was worth it on its own. to kind of make your way through Mississippi. Worth the fun.